All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. This is an odd chart to say the least. Tilly, what is going on with you here? From the back-to-back dojis to the really, really low volume, I am actually a little confused, and I'm curious if there's been some news or something that I missed. But yeah, this is not what I was expecting to see. With CGC, look, I will be honest, the black hole is not absorbing as much as I wanted. We're coming up to that second 20% loss, right? But still riding below the 8 moving average, right? So not too much has changed there. MSOS, today was an important day. I was actually really scared, and I mentioned it to someone yesterday on the comments, but today was an interesting recovery. We'll see if it confirms. And then high tide, I actually don't know what it looks like, so that one will be very fresh, but I believe someone said earnings is coming up. Let me know if that's an accurate statement or not, but obviously I've been saying there's too many moving averages. I don't know if we've actually escaped or not, but earnings will help it escape one way or the other, to say the least, all right? So before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can click that share button. It does wonders, all right? So, TLRY, I mean, what is going on is the only thing that I can think about, and I have to start down here. You know, I normally start up here, but this is really concerning. If you've seen, I have a video called the 5 Golden Rules of Trading. Volume is my number 2 rule for a reason. Volume is king. Volume is queen for my ladies out there, all right? And when volume drops hard, generally stock price does as well, all right? And we were pushing. I mean, you can say we're barely on, we're basically on that 20 million line, right? So we go from 20 to seemingly what, 2/3 of that down the toilet, going from almost 21 to 7, right? Like that is a horrible drop, and what's seeming like a sustained drop in volume. That is not what I want to see. Look, I know a lot of people talk about holding and diamond hand. Holding doesn't make a stock price go up. You need volume first. Like, you need people to buy and buy and buy and buy, and as the price goes up, they keep on buying and buying and buying, and you need volume of buyers, not a whole mess of holders, all right? And no one's buying this. Not only that, you can also see no one's really holding this either. Like, there has been significantly more red days of volume selling than green days of acquiring, right? So volume is just looking really, really horrible. And I will say, I think the cluster of moving averages did the best it could to keep it relatively horizontal, but man, I keep saying it, since this earnings call on the early, what was it, the 9th of January, all we have done is stayed under both the 8 and the 20. We have this horrible inability to get over those 2 lines, and you know my videos, nothing good happens, all right? I'm a little happy to see this 172 line trying to hold it. Again, I am on the bearish side. We are under that line, and I've been saying once we go under the line, I'm bearish, right? Because again, my worry becomes falling down to here. I'm glad that this is holding it, but again, all I can really focus on is the lines. It does seem like the 8 and the 20 are kind of like flattening out a little bit. They're not going down as steep. Maybe that's something to consider and look at. Sorry, let me move my mouse. Maybe that's something to consider, but I'm seeing too much bad volume. And the other thing is, you can already see the 50-day volume line starting to creep down, right? It was really flat up here. The slope just kind of continues to go and go, right? So I'm really worried actually on TLRY, and I think I'm less worried about the moving averages and the resistances. This volume is just such a, I can't tell you what that's screaming at me. I mean, again, look, like our what's today? Today's Wednesday. A half a week, 3 days of volume was basically what we were trading on single days. You can see this single day volume was 23 million. This single day was only a couple days ago. This was the beginning of the month, right? And lo and behold, we're basically doing that in 3 days of trading. So really, really uncomfortable with this volume. I am. And I mean, the weekly has had a bunch of dough. This channel right here on the weekly, I think, looks a little louder. Red, 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 green, 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 green. Pretty much nothing. That could be a scary red, red, red. Yeah, I think volume is the biggest thing I'm noticing. I don't have a lot of news updates. Let me know if I've missed something on Tilray. I know this is a weed sector review. I don't hear enough about Tilray on the alcohol side. I really, really wish there was a little bit more alcohol news. This is the number 5 market share leader, right? And you're telling me that, like, we can't have more. Did I move this? I have no idea. You're telling me that, like, we're not going to have more alcohol news? I think that's always been something that bothers me a little bit. Number 5 is big, especially when the market share size is the alcohol industry. That thing is huge, right? So just some thoughts on to end it with, all right? But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Let me see if I can fix this view live on the thing. I don't know if I'm about to mess up this video. I hope not. Yeah, I think I accidentally touched that red line. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Let's come into CGC. Listen, I don't do options, all right? I don't short anything. I don't long anything with options either, right? Like, I don't make any calls or puts. I do avoid a stock going into all-time lows. Once you lose an all-time low number, my expectation is you're going to lose 20%, 4.05 times 0.8. It's 80% of it. And then I'm ready for you to lose another 20%. What's another 80% of that? So we are roughly 30 cents away from that next 20% tranche. Yeah, today was a nice little green candle, but again, all we're doing is going away from the 8 to the 8, away from the 8 to the 8. I am still seeing this inability. Yeah, I do see green over red on the MACD and the RSI, but nah, my focus is definitely up here. We are under the all-time low support. We are still watching the 8 and the 20 go down. Volume is also starting to deplete here as well. Maybe in some ways it's actually good that volume's depleting here, because it actually would have been such a worse all-time low sell-off if it just, like, it was increasing, right? Instead of maintaining the increase, we're at least decreasing. Maybe that's a positive thing here. It's definitely a bad thing on Tilray, but when you're already in a dumpster fire, hey, at least the volume of gasoline is going down, right? That's kind of how I see it. So, kind of inverse thoughts on the volume right there, but I hope it makes sense why one is good and one is bad, right? I don't have too much more to say. I always say avoid a stock that has lost the all-time low line. This is an example of it, right? So we're getting relatively far from the reverse split. I don't think I've actually mentioned the reverse split in a while, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's kind of starting to fall out of my head. It's been a little more than 3 months. A full fiscal quarter is now in the books past this, right? That's a good thing in my head. That's a good little separation from it. We just need something to pull us out of all-time lows. It's a black hole vortex otherwise, all right? I really don't have too many more thoughts here. Let me know if you do. Otherwise, let's move into MSOS. Hey, if you can please subscribe and share the video, it would be much appreciated, all right? So MSOS, I obviously was bullish on these 2 days. Unfortunately, we never got the confirmation, and you can see what happened since, right? We lose the 20, we lose the 8, we lose the 50. We came to the 100. I thought we'd lost the 100 and we were going to come down here. Glad to see today's green candle at least say, look, maybe the 100 moving average is going to be a little bit more of a support than I was ready for it to be, because I saw that volume. I saw the MACD in the negative. I saw the relative. I mean, look, a 30 RSI, your first thought is, oh, this thing wants to go back up because 30 is too low. My thought really was this thing just reset so it could go back even lower to the dismal bottoms as it comes here. So really glad to see this. I really can't tell if this is just kind of an outlier, right? Like again, I talk about it. You go away from the 8, you go to the 8. You go away from the 8, you go to the 8. I don't know if we're just going to go back down away from the 8. The 100's not going to do it. My thought really was we were going to come to 7. And I think I still think that. I still think that we're going to be coming down to the 690 if you look in the box over there where it's sitting, right? I will not trust this until we get over 8. I need to get over this green line. I need to get over the 8 moving average before I'm willing to. Because again, we've already seen 2 stocks. Both of them are struggling under the 8 and the 20. This one is obviously the powerhouse. I don't want to say the powerhouse, but it's the ETF of the powerhouses, right? Like this is the main US stock. So maybe, maybe looking at TLRY and looking at this isn't the best of comparisons. But yeah, end of the day, I believe TLRY still is the chart king for the sector. And I'm seeing the 8 and the 20 go down on those. I'm seeing it go down here, right? So I can't tell if I believe this or not. I know I'm going a little fast, but there's not a lot of great things to talk about on this video, High tide. All right, look, again, too many moving averages is what I was talking about on these. We actually end up losing it coming down to the bottom one, but now we might be forming a cluster with these 4. I don't really know. The spacing is a little better. Like we hopefully can take the 8 to the 20, hopefully take the 20 to the 50, hopefully escape from that, right? But more than anything, if earnings are going to happen, let me know. I think I saw a comment on that maybe even as early as yesterday. I don't remember. But let me know if earnings are actually going to be coming up here soon. And then otherwise, look, like I said, I've been talking about the tornado, right? You go from the top to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. I don't know if we're now making a new tornado where we're going to the top, then the bottom, then the top, then the bottom, then the top, then the bottom, right? So still too many moving averages, definitely less tight than this cluster. So that's maybe something that could be taken advantage of. But yeah, it's still just too many lines for my comfort. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, I appreciate you all so much.